This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion on the channel today. On the road up in Cold Lake, enjoying a weekend, and you know what? We get some news finally regarding Connor McDavid, which allows us to kind of start measuring up and figuring out our off-season plan, right? We already discussed the top 3 priorities for the off-season this year. Well, the picture gets a little bit more clear now that we know what's going to go on with Connor McDavid. So right now, let's get to the tweet from Elliotte Friedman and get that whole mess sorted out. So the Oilers tweeted out, update: the Oilers medical staff in collaboration with top orthopedic specialists have determined a rehabilitation protocol for Connor McDavid, which will begin immediately. So that's the added information on this. McDavid suffered a PCL injury. Now, a PCL injury, from everything I have read on Twitter this morning, I don't know if I take the professional medical detail from Twitter, but you know what, when you've got the hockey guys tweeting it out, you got to take it with a good grain of knowledge and accept maybe that's exactly what's going on. The PCL injury occurred because it's a direct hit to the shin bones, so usually something's going to give, and that's exactly what gave for Connor McDavid. Now, that is the least serious outcome by the looks of it, everything I've read today, in terms of what could have happened to Connor McDavid when he crashed into that post on the final game of the year in Calgary. So, you know what, maybe we escape with a little bit of luck, and that's maybe exactly what we're going to need. That's what I've been preaching all this way to the offseason so far, is we're going to need a little bit of luck and a GM with some brains to get us going into the playoffs next year. But at least we got a little bit of luck now. So the stuff that we're expecting out of Connor McDavid, he should be ready for camp. I guess the term is expected to be ready for camp. Does not need surgery, and that's great to hear, says Elliotte Friedman. So right there off the top, guys, good news for Connor McDavid. Even better news for Edmonton Oilers fans. And if you're Daryl Cates, knowing that, well, he's not going to take that out of his game, well, maybe even better news for you as a business owner. However, what does that mean for us as Oilers fans? There's a couple of things I want to get to, because now I guess this is more of a news of the day kind of video, news of the day, news talk, news everything. So Connor McDavid being ready to go for the start of next season allows us to kind of shape the offseason, right? Obviously, we're not thinking $12.5 million is starting on the LTIR, IR, anything going into the season. That's good news for us, because you don't want Connor McDavid on the LTIR. That's just dangerous at best. So you sit here and, okay, you've got your star lined up, Leon Draisaitl coming off a career year. You kind of get to understand what this team's going to be now. Not the fact that nobody knew what this team needs prior to knowing what the diagnosis with Connor McDavid is, whether he be in or the lineup. We still got to add the pieces we're missing, obviously, but now that allows you to primarily focus on doing that while Connor McDavid rehabs to get stronger, right? You imagine a rehab, more determined Connor McDavid after missing the playoffs for the second year in a row. Guys, it's a dangerous formula of how good it could possibly be with Connor McDavid next year, with Leon Draisaitl in tow, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins in tow. Now, obviously, you sit here going into the offseason, can you expect everyone to have a career year again? No. Can you expect your depth guys to step up and at least do a little bit and maybe have a career year here or there? Yes, abso-friggin-lutely. So it's a tough go for Oilers fans right now, knowing where we sit, knowing what we have to deal with throughout the offseason, throughout the playoffs. And I mean, I get ragged on every day at work. There's a Flames fan and a Canucks fan at work, so it's fun. But you sit there, and it's a simple, quick fix if you've got a general manager who has half a brain and wants to do a good job. That's my opinion. Now, I could be wrong. I've said it's as simple as this, or it's as easy as this, and you guys are starting to take notice of that in the comments. But it's simple math, simple moves, if you have somebody who's able to make them. That's the question. Are the Oilers going to find somebody who's going to be able to make those moves? That's a tough formula, because just because it's as simple as it is to move Milan Lucic and a first-round pick for something of value back, yeah, that's easy on paper. I can say that all day long. But if you have a Peter Chiarelli type who can't do anything right, well, it ain't easy at all, right? So as Oilers fans, I guess the one thing the Edmonton Sun was pointing out is, or was that the Edmonton Journal? Hold on. Computer's glitching out, boys. There we go. Computer's good to go. So let's go here. Down. So Edmonton Oilers fans hunger for a major purge of Bob Nicholson. That's what an Edmonton Journal and Edmonton Sun survey, they're all one nowadays, said from April 12th. So right there, you guys got your news that maybe we're not all alone in a same boat, right? So good news for Oilers fans. We're pretty much on the same page there. That's good. But now you start thinking about, okay, well, we major purge those guys. Who's the candidates come in? And already this is the sick, convoluted circle that is Edmonton Oilers media, Edmonton Oilers coverage, Edmonton Oilers anything. The old boys club mentality, nepotism, whatever you want to call it, is here you go. The first thing that happens as soon as Ralph Krueger draws out of Southampton, I believe, is his BPL team he was with, why Edmonton Oilers should think long and hard about Ralph Krueger. That's the Edmonton Journal headline. It's about president of hockey operations. Yes, you know what? That's a business role more than it is a hockey role. I understand that 100%, but he's a 3-year assistant coach, a former head coach, a losing former head coach, and we're thinking, even though he's gone away and done good things elsewhere, we're thinking about giving him a promotion from the previous job title he held with us. Guys, this is the issue I hold with the Oilers right now, is we can clear house with the old boys club, but we'll just bring in another old boys club. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if, oh man, you clear out Bob Nicholson, you clear out Mac T, you clear out Kevin Lowe, House, and you clear them out. And then you know who you'd bring in? You'd bring in Tom Rennie, you'd bring in Ralph Krueger, you'd probably bring in Todd McLellan in some, right? I know Todd McLellan's going to LA, don't worry about that, but you know what I mean? It's just, what's old is new again, and we've done that with Sam Gagner this year, so don't get me wrong, we do it with the players as well, but it's this once an Oiler, always an Oiler mentality that is getting us absolutely nowhere at this point. And the Ralph Krueger move, yes, you know what, he's done some fantastic things over in England, and maybe he's not the worst person for the job. I'm not saying he's absolutely the worst hire he could make, but it's just the optics of it again. And I'm having a tough time with the Keith Gretzky thing as it is, because of the name, just keeping it in the family kind of deal that the Oilers so often seem to like to do. But I don't know if it's a matter of we have to suck it up and get that the hockey world is a bunch of recycled guys over and over and over and over again. If that's the case, we might as well bring in Glenn Slather again and get him in here. But I just don't see it. I don't see how Ralph Krueger solves anything for the Oilers at this point, and I don't see how getting rid of Bob Nicholson turns a complete new leaf, because if you're already considering hiring Ralph Krueger, right? However, you get rid of Bob Nicholson and you bring in somebody completely new, I'm all game. I'm 100% game, don't get me wrong. I would be all right with that, and I am totally on the ship to get rid of Bob Nicholson, but as far as news of the day goes, those are kind of the two things, so we'll see how it goes for our Oilers the rest of this weekend, because I'm sure there will be something tomorrow or later on today about what's going to happen. So we'll find out. I mean, you guys got what kind of Oilers coverage is going on right now. The Edmonton Sun, Edmonton Journal is pretty much covering just kind of the basic optics of the offseason and stuff like that. So for right now, we're in a holding pattern until we start getting rumblings, and that's exactly what's going to start happening by about the second, third round of playoffs. We'll start figuring out who might be the new general manager, who's going to be considered, and you'll start having quite a few things coming out, and we'll be covering it back on Dolynny TV. Guys, tonight I'm at the Cold Lake Bolorama, so I may or may not have another video up later on today. like I said, news of the day, I've got some news myself, and that's my news. So anyways, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we'll have another one out soon. I apologize for the 2 days off, but we'll get rocking and rolling. Guys, that's your news of the day for Oilers land. I am up on out of here.